Thank you for joining in early, folks. I see the number is increasing, and we are also live on our YouTube channel now. We have started the session a bit early, so you have enough time to, settle down and give your introductions on the chat here as well. As this one is a global webinar, you'll be seeing a lot of people joining from different countries, and that makes the session even more interesting. And it's always good to network, right? These events before we start the session. So we have few minutes. You can take your time to basically give your introductions on the chat here. And folks who have joined us live on our YouTube channel, we are also checking out your chat messages on the YouTube live chat box. So let me also quickly open that. And please introduce yourselves on the chat as well. We also will be looking onto the YouTube live chat box as well. So please make sure to introduce yourselves on the chat here. So yeah. And today we'll be covering the topic bad, good, and best password practices, preventing dictionary-based attacks. And we have a very good session lined up for you. We have a very amazing expert and speaker, Sergey Chubarov, who will be taking us through this topic. And after that, we have a program preview lined up for you for the Certified Ethical Hacking certification course. But before that, I see a lot of folks have already started putting down the introduction on the chat here. So let me just reintroduce myself once again, because I see number has increased. A lot of new folks have joined in. So I'm Rasha Khan, and I'm your host for today's webinar, and I'm joining all the way from Bangalore, India. Would love to know where are you joining us from. So you can put down your name on the chat and drop us a hello and let us know you're here. And also let us know where are you joining us from. So before we start, let me just quickly also take you through the ground rules here we have for the session. So these are quick and easy ground rules you have to follow, so you have an amazing experience. So if you have any questions for our speaker or for me, you can put down your questions in the Q&A box. And Q&A box is just beside the chat box. The chat box is where we can see your amazing introductions coming in, and we wouldn't want to miss any of your questions or queries you might have throughout the session. So that is why please move it to the Q&A, and that is where our speaker expert will be looking into your questions. And I also will be looking to address any questions you might have to help you out. Also, the session is being recorded. In case you want to go through the recording of the session once again, in case you have missed anything, please don't worry. You can expect a follow-up email from us with the recording link to view. And we also have a webinar certificate for attending the webinar. And we'll be providing you that once the webinar is done within 24 to 48 hours. And for that, you will have to provide us your full name on the poll, which I will launch towards the end of the session. So this session is 60 minutes long. It is filled with a very interesting topic, as I mentioned, we'll be covering, and also a program review of the Certified Ethical Hacker course from Simplilearn and EC Council. And yeah, we have a lot of things to cover. And just let me just quickly take you through the agenda of today's session. I see a lot of new folks have joined in. Also, I see folks have joined us from Hyderabad and South Africa, Nigeria, Senegal, Ghana, Pakistan, Yemen. I see a lot of introductions here on Zoom. Indonesia, Chandigarh, India, Senegal, and Germany. Oh, awesome. Please keep the introductions coming in, folks who have just joined. We are just starting the session. So thank you for joining in. And I see a few introductions also have started coming on the YouTube live chat box as well. So thank you so much. Please keep the introductions coming in. Meanwhile, let me also quickly take you through the agenda of today's session. So the first and the most important agenda of today's session is about you, getting to know a little bit about you, how we can help you out in your career. And the second agenda of today's session is the very interesting topic, the bad, good, and the best password practices, preventing dictionary-based attacks. And after that, we'll be covering the program preview for the CEH V12 Certified Ethical Hacking course. And we'll be sharing the learning path of the program, how exactly the learning environment of the program looks like, which is provided by Simplilearn. I'll be showcasing you that live. And we also will be sharing the learner outcomes of the program. And based on the interest you share towards enrollment, I'll also quickly take you through the enrollment steps and the program fee, and also share the program page, basically if you want to download the syllabus after the webinar and go have a thorough look at it. And yeah, last but not the least, the Q&A. So the Q&A is secured for towards the end. So we make sure to address, all of your queries. And for that, in case throughout the session, if you have any questions, please keep the questions related to the topic. That is one request. And just have a little patience. We will address, as many questions as possible, towards the end of the session. So please do that. And once again, welcome everyone. I see the number is increasing. I see a lot of new folks still joining in. Now, meanwhile, as I mentioned that let's get to know you a little better. Now that you have given your amazing introductions on the chat here already, let's also, get to know that how many years of experience do you currently have? Because a lot of folks actually join the session and they come from different countries, right? And it makes the session even more interesting that they come from different career paths. So let me just quickly launch this poll, and you will see this poll launched on Zoom, which says that how many years of experience do you currently have? And you can choose the most suitable option for you from the 4 options you can see here right now. First one, currently studying. Second one, 0 to 3 years. And the third one, 3 to 5 years. And the fourth one, more than 5 years. So yeah, I see most of you have already started sharing your responses. That's great. But let's give it 10 more seconds, for others to also respond. Folks who are watching us live on our YouTube channel, you can also let us know by responding on the chat, your experience there. Awesome. I see a lot of new folks have joined in. Please don't worry. We are just starting the session. And we are just doing a quick poll here, just to know, the experience of the crowd who has joined us. Folks who have just joined, I see a few questions about the recording or the presentation or the notes. So please don't worry about that. We are recording this session, and we will be sharing the recording link to view over email post-webinar. So in case you want to go through it again, in case you've missed anything. So please don't worry, we'll share the recording with you then. Yeah. Awesome. Keep the introductions coming in on the chat. And last 5 seconds for the poll here. So how many years of experience do you currently have? So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let me quickly end the poll and also share the results with you folks. Let's see what have you voted for. Awesome. 40% of the folks are currently studying. 27% of you have 0 to 3 years of experience. And 1% of you have 3 to 5 years of experience. And 32% of you have more than 5 years of experience. That's interesting. We have gotten, experienced professionals as well, and also, freshers as well. So thank you so much for sharing that with us. And now I would like to introduce you to the topic once again. So we'll be moving on towards the topic here, bad, good, and best password practices of preventing dictionary-based attacks. And would love to introduce our speaker, Sergey Jovrov. Sergey here is a security consultant and instructor, and he's also a conference speaker for DAFCon, Hacker Halted, besides Hack in the Box, and WWHF, Black Hat Europe. And he's also basically worked as a Microsoft MVP for security. And yeah, I can go on and on about Sergey here, but I'm pretty sure, Sergey, the slide does not do justice to amount of experience and skills you have. So I'm pretty sure the audience would love to know from you as well. So welcome once again.
All right. So thank you for intro. I think I can share my screen.
Sure. I'll stop sharing my screen. You can go ahead.
All right.
We can see your screen, and yeah, we can see the presentation.
Slide is there. All right, good. All right, welcome. We have some time, let's say limited, because we have many things to discuss. So let's get started. I'm not going to really spend too much time on it on introduction. The more, because probably you're here not to listen about me, but listen about the topic. So our topic is bad, good, and the best password practices, preventing dictionary-based attacks. Of course, this webinar is short, so I'm going to show you the nuggets, but you'll have some information to think about. And then, of course, if you'd like, you can go deeper to every of those topics. Again, my name is Sergey. I'm a consultant, instructor, conference speaker, Microsoft VP Security, OSCP, C Council, CEH, LPT Master, CPAT, and so on and so forth. So what I prefer to do when I deliver webinars, I prefer to show live demos. So I don't have many slides because I saw in the chat some kind of questions about the notes. Yeah, we have slides here, and you may use them as the notes, but there are not too many details there. Mostly I will show you live demos and how those attacks and protection looks like. So what I'm going to show you in this session, I'm going to show you some typical dictionary password-based attacks, and then we're going to see how we can protect our infrastructure from it. And of course, that will be quite quick since we have webinar, not the full day or the full week session. All right, so let's get started with technical stuff. So in this session, we're going to cover dictionary attacks. And you should know that when it comes to dictionary attacks, oh, by the way, let me remove myself from here. So when it comes to dictionary attacks, they could be online or offline. What's the difference between them? So online attack, it means that application or server or some kind of service is working currently, and we are trying to attack this working server, service, whatever. So it's already in use, and we're trying to attack it. The problem of that, it will be quite noisy because, companies, they monitor, they have some kind of at least logs and maybe some kind of prevention system, detection prevention. So that could be noisy. And of course, suspicious, because again, most of those systems will detect abnormal activity. So to make it less suspicious, attackers also use different techniques. So they try to limit their speed, number of attempts, don't attack 100 times in 1 minute, but just do it 5 attempts and then make a pause and then do 5 more later. So that's what means online. So we have application and we're trying to attack it. But again, because that's the live application, at the same time, defenders can also detect it and prevent as well. So as the prevention, quick prevention, quick mitigation that defender may have is even automated. They may lock out the account that was under attack, or attacker IP address could be banned right away. We're going to cover more mitigations during this webinar, but just the automated mitigation that you may find pretty quickly is account lockout or IP address could be banned. So that's about online. That's about online. At the same time, we have offline attacks. Idea of offline attack that we need to obtain the hash from the live system first. So the hash of the password, of course. And this hash could be cracked offline. So the beauty of that, if attacker obtain the hash, attacker may spend any time offline and do anything with this hash because it will be done on the attacker system. So there is no noise. The only thing that which may look noisy is when attacker is trying to get the hash itself. So somehow they need to extract the hash from the system, from the live system. But the addiction attack itself isn't noisy at all because it will be done on the attacker machine against some kind of like files with data, and so it will not be it will not be noisy. So there will only be any logs on the live system. So the only thing we need to do is to get the actual credentials, the hash, and then we need to crack it. So I will show you both techniques, but first let's discuss one thing that quite often there's a confusion between those two different definitions: dictionary attacks and brute force. Is it the same? Quite often they use interchangeably. So we could say yes, because normally when it comes to when we talk about those things, we can call brute force, we can call dictionary attacks. So I would say either way. But if we be a bit more picky, then there's still a difference between them. So brute force attack means that we're trying to use every possible combinations. So we're trying to use like password 1, password 2, password 3, and so add more symbols, that kind of stuff. Dictionary attacks means that we already have a dictionary, some kind of file with the passwords, with words and phrases, and then we try to use we're trying to use those words and phrases as the passwords. So there's a difference between brute force and dictionary attacks, but quite often when we like have casual conversation, we call it either way, brute force or dictionary attacks. So there's also important thing when we work with dictionaries, where those passwords came from. Where do we get those passwords in a dictionary? So quite often the passwords came from the leaked credentials. So if like one system was compromised, attacker got access to all the passwords of the company or maybe of the service, and then they add those passwords to the dictionary, and eventually those passwords become popular. So also one more thing you need to be aware about dictionaries. Next slide. Oh, yeah. So we can use dictionaries not only to compromise passwords, but often we use that for other reasons. For example, we can find out domain names. So you have some kind of domain and you want to find subdomains. You can do that. Or we have web application and we would like to find subdirectories of that application. How can we do it? So with dictionaries, maybe you heard about tools like Deerbuster and so forth. So with those tools, you can use dictionary to find out subdirectories on the application and maybe some hidden files that's stored on the directory. Also, we can find out the services of the application. We can use it for fuzzing if we like. Again, we make an attest against application using technique called fuzzing. We also may use the dictionary for it. So dictionaries are not limited only to passwords, but since we're talking about passwords in this session, I'm not going to really dive deeper into this slide. So we're going to cover only passwords. So when it comes to passwords, where can we find those the like dictionaries? So of course you can create dictionary yourself. But at the same time, there are some popular dictionaries that you can use if you're like going to take an exam, ethical hacking exam, or you would like to, work in where you want to switch to, ethical hacking, and you have a task like crack the password. So you may find the popular dictionaries that are like universal and use them. So you may start from that. So I would say one of the most popular dictionary is called Oracle.txt. So let me click on that. Of course, you'll be forwarded to GitHub. And so you need to download this Oracle.txt, extract it. And this Oracle.txt contains 14 million plain text passwords. So again, this one is one of the most popular word lists and commonly used in CTF and penetration testing challenges. If you install Kali Linux, so you will find out this Rocket.txt there as well. So one of the most popular list, a dictionary, is called Rocket.txt. You may start from it. Then, if we want to find some dictionaries more specialized for specific reasons, let me go back to the previous slide, just for a moment. I told you that dictionaries may use for different reasons, so for the domain names enumeration and so forth. So if you would like to have the dictionaries for to discover like subdomains, or you want to have dictionary to discover subdirectories, so there are separate dictionaries that you may find under this GitHub. So this GitHub is called Seclist. So there's a dictionary to find usernames, a dictionary for usernames, for passwords, and so forth. So let me click on that. And so here you can see menu folders. So here, like a folder for usernames, for passwords. Let me click on the username real quick. And so here you can find like different services like MS SQL or SAP usernames and so forth. At the same time, for passwords, we also have a number of folders with passwords, Wi-Fi passwords, leak databases, common credentials, and so forth, like the 200 most used passwords in different years, 500 worst passwords. So this is a really good resource to find out also typical passwords. And this is a bit more practical because Rocket.txt is very good for CTF, but the problem of Rocket.txt is quite old. And so most passwords there are quite outdated. Here, they add more and more. It's not a single file. So that's like a number of files. Here you can even find like quite fresh, like 200 the most used passwords in the previous year. So they add more and more dictionaries here. So you may find old dictionaries and the new dictionaries here. So checklist, check that yourself. By the way, you may say, hey, wait a second, can you give us a link to it? First of all, you can take a screenshot if you want, but don't forget we have like a search engine. And if you want to work at security, like Google, Bing, DuckDuckGo, whatever, search should be one of your best friends. So just type rocket.txt or checklist and you will find them quite easily. There's one more password list, quite popular, called Have I Been Pwned passwords. We'll talk about Have I Been Pwned soon in this webinar, but we can get their password list as well. Have I been pwned? You may say, what haven't? So there's some like procedure how to download this list. You may say, what have I been pwned this? We're going to cover that again soon, but that's a quite popular service where can you check if your credentials were compromised. All right, so that's where you can find the dictionaries, like popular dictionaries. One more thing you can do, you may create a dictionary yourself. So there are a number of program like applications, tools that can be used to create dictionaries, like collect different words and then put them all together as a dictionary. All right, so now when we have a dictionary, what can we do to attack, to perform the attack? If we want to make a like online attack, we have tools for that. If we want to make an offline attack, we have tools for that. I would like to show you a few tools. I would like to show you one tool for online attack and one tool for the offline. So let's start from online. So one like quite popular tool to perform online attack is called Hydra. So with Hydra, you can attack different systems like over different protocols. So over RDP, over SSH, you can just attack a live system. You can attack web system and so forth. It can be installed on Windows or built into Kali Linux, or you may install it from the store, I mean from the repository on Linux as well. So from here, I would like to switch to demo. All right, let's say connect real quick. All right. So I'm on a Linux machine. Let me check if I have dictionary here. Yes, I have dictionary called top. And now let me try to use Hydra. So I'm going to type Hydra. I already, oh, by the way, if I want to install Hydra, it's super easy. I just need to type sudo apt install Hydra. And yeah, provide my credentials. And it's already there, so I already have a newest version. I don't need to install it again. All right. Now, let me type Hydra. Now, I would like to specify the credentials I'm looking for. So if I would like to compromise some account, I need to provide the attribute called L. If L is lowercase, then I must hard code the username. So it's admin. What I can also do, I can provide capital L. In this case, I can also give like the text document with different logins, but that will take too long. So I don't want to make the demo too long. Let me hard code the username that I would like to brute force. I mean, attack. And then I would like to also connect the dictionary called top.txt. So here I have capital P. I don't want to hard code the password. I would like to use the dictionary. And now the next step I need to specify the IP address of the machine, which I'm going to attack. So let me say 192.168.111. That's the Windows machine. This Windows machine, Windows server. I can also check the IP address. So yeah, that's that 100.11. All right, and then a protocol. In my case, it will be RDP, but of course, port must be open. So it might be RDP, it might be SMB, depends which port is open. Of course, you must first make enumeration with Nmap or whatever tool you prefer to use. Find out open ports, and if RDP or something like that or SMB open, you may try to use the dictionary attack. So in my case, I open RDP port, and so I'm going to attack over RDP. So let me press enter. And yeah, it was quick because that was the idea, to make it quick. Of course, in the real world, it will be much longer. Even if you take an exam, something like CPANT, and you're going to use those Hydra tools, it will take, of course, longer. But that's not the goal, to make this webinar too long and make it tedious to waiting for the procedure. But you can find here that for login admin, the correct password was found in the dictionary. And the password is PASSW0RD. And of course, if I would like to try, I can do that. But for the sake of time, let me try to do it from the interface. I think that will be the first time when I log in with this user. And yeah, it should work. It's working. So that was online attack. But normally that's a bit noisy, because of course I was lucky enough, because all the demo was prepared by me, and I know that the username and the list of passwords wasn't too long, so that was pretty quick. But in the real world, when you have like hundreds of passwords, it will be noisy, and it may be detected even before you find the right password. So just keep it in mind. All right, so let me clear that, and from here, I would like to try something else. So that was online, when the system is working. What I can do, by the way, let me show you that something may go wrong. Let me just go to the live system, and I'm gonna go to local server, and let me turn RDP off, just to show you the proof that in this case, my attack will not work anymore. So now RDP was closed. And now if I try to do the same, like Hydra, RDP, and look at this, 0 valid password found, just because RDP is not working. So I cannot make it try. I cannot try it. All right, so of course I can try different protocol, maybe SMB, but probably SMB is not enabled here. There are no shares. Yeah, there's nothing here. So invalid reply from target, and you can see here now it's not working, just because there are no open ports for it. And that's why you need to, of course, make enumeration before you start to do those attacks. But enumeration, that's a different topic, not related to passwords. All right, so that was online attack. Let's take a look at something like offline. So when we have when we can crack the password. So for that, I will use the tool called John the Ripper. So free password cracking tool, already also built into Kali Linux, or you can download from Windows or download it or install it on Linux, Ubuntu, like I'm doing that. So let me jump back to my Linux. Now, if I look at the folder, I already copied 2 files called password and shadow. So maybe you heard about that, maybe not. But in Linux, if we want to find the password, I mean the credentials, they are stored in the password and shadow. So shadow store actual hashes, and the password stored information about the user. So we need to have both to really crack. So I copied both already to this folder. Now what next step I need to unshadow. So how can I unshadow? So let me type, meetup sudo unshadow. Then give names of my password and shadow, and output will be unshadow.txt. Now if I look at that, let's type cat unshadow. We have something combined. So we combine files with pswd and shadow. Now I need to ask John to crack it. So let's do it. Let's say John word list will be top. That txt. I hope it's still here. Let me just double check. Top is here. Yeah. John. And then the actual file that I would like to compromise is unshadow. All right. So no such file. Oh, sorry. Okay. And look at this. So it found one password and it was able to crack for this user, for me, with my name. And the password was pretty much the same as admin. PS $SPPASS W0RD. So that was offline crack. This time we did not really attack the live system. We just copied the two files. We can do it on a different system, on the same system, on a different system, and then we did it offline. And so there's no noise. The only one thing, somehow we need to get those files with hashes. And of course, to get those files from the hashes, we need to have some kind of permissions, or the live system must be compromised before that. All right, so then we have some other tools. If we a similar tool to compromise hashes is called Hashcat. This tool, also free, can be installed on Windows, Linux. Then Deerbuster. Deerbuster is used to brute force directories. It's not for the passwords. That's for the different reasons. That's the compromise. Find out some directories, hidden files on the web servers. And the last tool called Patater. So this tool is some kind of combination of Nmap, Hydra, and other cracking tool under the single umbrella. So again, this is like Swiss Army knife that combines number of tools together under the single tool, Patater. So and now let's take a look. How can we protect our company, ourselves, from those kind of online and maybe even offline attacks, mostly online. So first of all, that should be done everywhere you can. If it's possible, turn on multi-factor authentication. Turn it on. Yeah, I know it can be tricky for legacy systems. So for example, you have Windows, Linux, Active Directory. In that case, multi-factor authentication can be implemented if you have some third-party system. I mean, third-party services. And even though third-party, they're not super convenient compared to some kind of modern application that we have. But if you can implement multi-factor authentication, do it. Quite often, it's easy to implement for modern systems. For example, let's say you have the cloud. Let me try to log into let me log into my Azure cloud. Now let me provide credentials, something like that. Let me ignore that and say I want to use password instead. And let me provide password. So I provide the password, and now it's asking me for to approve the request, and I must type the number. Let me just type here number 66. Say yes, provide my fingerprint, and only after that I can sign in. So yeah, of course, it looks quite easy in the cloud. So on premises, it's much harder to implement. But again, because we use cloud quite often, uh, enable it. So make sure you have multi-factor authentication, and also you have your personal accounts. You have maybe your Facebook account, your Zoom, your whatever accounts, credentials, Google credentials. Um, Enable MFA everywhere you can. Everywhere you can. It's not only about corporate, but also about personal things. All right, next one. Password policies. Password policies. Yeah, so it still makes sense. Still makes sense to make passwords more complicated and harder to guess. Password policies. Nowadays, we have a bit different approach to passwords. We don't. There doesn't make much sense to change password every like 90 days, 60 days, because it can cause even more confusion. So you should not change them all the time, because otherwise user will start to use more and more and more predictable passwords. But password policies to make a password stronger, that's important. So use different symbols, capital, like uppercase, lowercase, special symbols. It's still important. And eventually, if it's possible, is to move to passwordless. So what does it mean passwordless? It means I don't have passwords at all. So I don't use password. I use some kind of biometrics. I use some kind of devices. I made like plug FIDO key, but I don't have a password. There's nothing really that someone can use, like can look can find in my notes. It is something that we have or we are, but it's not something that we remember or something where we take notes. Let me give you an example. You remember I signed into to my Azure Cloud. Let me sign out. And now let me choose, instead of password, I would like to use my application. So use my app instead. Oh, come on. Because I signed out. Yeah, it needs to have a break. Let's try again. Okay, so it needs to, because I ignored the previous request when I send it. I still have it on my screen, by the way, on my device. It's not going to send me the new one right away. So I need to wait a bit before it starts sending me. Yeah, so probably after a minute or so, it will send me the new request, so I can get back to passwordless soon. But what is the idea of passwordless? Maybe you notice that when I tried to sign in for the first time, it just gave me numbers right away without even asking me for password. So that's the idea, that we can provide something which is not related to password. So we don't need to memorize. And if we don't memorize, it means that there's a lower chance that those passwords will become like will be owned by someone else. Then next idea, I will get back to passwordless, but let's take a look at the next one. Password manager. So password managers, that's some intelligent system that will store your password. Maybe not really intelligent, but the system that stores your passwords. And when you need the password, it will type the password for you. Use it with caution, because we know the cases when those systems were compromised. There's one system that you can install locally. Yeah, I'm talking not really one system, but one popular system called KeePass. At the same time, if someone owns your system, they can get access to all your passwords. So the downside of password managers is that if someone compromises your password manager, they get access to everything that you have, all the passwords you have. So it has pros and cons. So it's more convenient, and you will be able to save a lot of time by not typing those passwords. But if someone get access to Password Manager, then it's game over. All your passwords leaked at the same time. All right, so a few more things. Intelligent lockout policies. So that's where account can be locked. Account can be locked if someone provided many wrong attempts, but it must be intelligent. What do you mean by that, intelligent? So let's say user had the same password. Let's say my password is PA$0RD. So this was my password. And if this password was like maybe stuck somewhere, maybe in my mobile device in Outlook, and my Outlook always trying to connect to my account, in this case, and if I change my password already, then my account will be locked very quickly, just because my Outlook is trying to connect many times with the same password. But the real attacker, will it use the same password over and over again? Of course not. Attacker will try different passwords. So standard lockout policies, like we have classic lockout policy, will look for the attempt itself, will not look at the content. And so if you provide the same password 5-10 times, it will lock you out, classic system. But the new system, like intelligent, let's say intelligent lockout system, they will take a look which password was provided, and if the password is the same, it will not count it again. So you will not be locked just because user provided the same password, maybe because the password was stuck somewhere, wasn't safe credentials, and somewhere automatically is trying to connect using the same password again. So lockout policies, they are good, but more intelligent than just classic policies that we have in Active Directory. The last one, leak credential monitoring. Do you remember I told you about Have I Been Pwned? Have I Been Pwned? That's very popular website. Have I Been Pwned.com. Here you can check if your email address is known as something that like was compromised. Maybe you have like the password associated with the leaked password. I mean, leaked credentials associated with this email address. What you can even do, you can make a domain search if you can prove the ownership, and you can see all the users from this domain that have leaked credentials. Let me check if I type something like me at whatever.com. And you can see here, oh yeah, that was compromised. And we have like 33 data breaches and found 5 pastes. And here you can see all the data breaches for this email address, all the sources. So Have I Been Pwned? And Have I Been Pwned, if you remember, also gave the share the dictionaries that can be used for that you can use yourself. I want to say for which reason that you can use yourself. All right, let me try to sign in again to my Azure with passwordless. I hope it's working now. Okay, that's the Worker School account, of course. No, still nothing. Maybe it wants me to sign out from everything. Okay, one last try. Now I close all the windows and let's try again. If it won't work, too bad. No, still nothing. Okay, so let's try next. No. Okay, that was, it didn't like that I canceled the previous request, so it needs some time to send me your request again. We have Q&A section, so I will do it during Q&A. All right, I think, Rasha, it's your time.
Hey, hi, Sagi. Thank you so much for taking us through such an interesting topic here. And we have plenty of questions lined up for you, but we'll be addressing them once we are done with the program review. So let me just quickly share back my screen. Folks, this is again a really good time for putting down your questions in the Q&A box because we'll be addressing your questions, in the Q&A part of the session, which will be coming soon once we are done with the program review. So feel free to move your questions from the chat box to Q&A box or any questions you might have. But before that, you're here because you are interested in becoming an ethical hacker or you have curiosity towards it. So we would love to know what exactly is stopping you from becoming a certified ethical hacker. So I'm just launching a quick poll here. Now, this is to understand the challenges you might be facing when it comes to pursuing a career in ethical hacking. And this one is a multiple choice poll. You can select multiple options as well because there can be multiple concerns or challenges, right? When it comes to pursuing a career in ethical hacking. Awesome. I see most of you have started responding. You folks are pretty quick here. And I saw some interesting suggestions on, topics also we can cover. I've made a note of it as well. So please keep sharing your thoughts as well on the chat and the questions in the Q&A box. So let's give it 10 seconds for the poll. And folks who have joined us live on a YouTube channel, you can let us know your concerns on the YouTube live chat box. Also, if these 4 concerns do not cover your challenges, the Q&A box is open for you, as I mentioned. So let me also quickly read out these options. So the first one here is I can't find a program with a fully comprehensive curriculum. And the second one, I don't have the practical exposure I need to become job ready. And the third one, I find it difficult to learn from pre-recorded videos. And the fourth one, my work schedule won't allow me enough time for learning. So yeah. Awesome. Last 5 seconds for the poll here, folks. I see most of you have responded. Awesome. Last 5 seconds. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thank you so much. I'll be ending the poll now and also sharing the results with you folks here. Let's see what have you voted for as a concern. So I see 41% of the votes are for I can't find a program with a fully comprehensive curriculum. And 46% is for I don't have the practical exposure I need to become job ready. And 10% is for I find it difficult to learn from pre-recorded videos. And 25% is for my work schedule won't allow me enough time for learning. That makes sense. Like a lot of you who have joined us do have a lot, experience as well. So let me just quickly introduce you to the EC Council's CEH V12 certification course. This is the Certified Ethical Hacking course. I think I saw a few questions about that as well in the chat. Folks wanted to know when are we going to start talking about that. So just to quickly give you an overview, the exam fees for the certification is included with the program. And we have accredited training partner of EC Council, as you can see. And also it includes official EC Council eCourseware. It has 8x higher interaction and live online classes conducted by industry experts, and also 6 months free access to the CEH V12 iLabs, and also a coverage of 20 vital security domains. Now, how exactly this program builds your ethical hacking skills step by step. So let me just quickly take you through that as well. So starting with the introduction to ethical hacking, and then we move on towards the footprinting and reconnaissance. And then we move on to scanning networks and integration, followed by vulnerability analysis and system hacking, and malware threats and sniffing. And this is how basically the learning path goes, as I'm telling you. The social engineering and denial of service, followed by session hijacking and evading IDS firewalls and honeypot, and hacking web services and web applications, SQL injection and hacking wireless networks, and hacking mobile platforms. And we sum it up with lot hacking, cloud computing, and cryptography. So this is just to quickly sum up the learning part of the program, but I will also show you how exactly it looks like when you basically, go towards the next slide. Sorry. Awesome. And also, what are the skills covered in this program as well, right? So we have IDS firewalls, honeypots, we have Trojan backdoors and countermeasures. Also, advanced hacking concepts as one of the skills, which is very important. Advanced log management and real-time network packet capturing analysis and mobile and web technology. So these are the skills which are covered in the program, which make sure to keep you up to date in the ethical hacking category of the course. Now moving on to the next slide, the tools which are covered in the program, right? So Backtrack, Aircrack, BetterCap, SQL Map, and Wireshark, Metas Pilot, and OAuth and W3AF, and being one of the many tools which are covered in the program as well. Let me also do one thing. Let me also quickly share with you the program landing page. We can also download the syllabus to go through in much more detail. But before that, let me also show what happens when you take up this program and what exactly the learning management system of the program looks like. Awesome. Let me just quickly move on to the learning management system here. So yeah, basically this is the learning management system which is provided by Simplilearn. And when you go to the course here, one of the courses, certified ethical hacking. It has a blend of self-learning videos and live classes. This is the self-learning section. And I'll just quickly play one of the videos for you to show how it exactly looks like. So let me just quickly maybe open this penetration testing concepts and just quickly play it for you.
All right, so you go to this website here, that's aspen.eccouncil.org, and you log in. I already have an account and username, so I'll log in. Okay, and here you can enable the two types of authentication code just for security purposes. So I will enter the code here. And then hit submit, and you will be taken to your home page on your Aspen account. So here you'll scroll down to learning resources and then academia. And then just click on that. You will enter the access code given to you.
So this is just one of example and glimpse of the self-learning videos we have here. And you can see all the sessions which are covered here. You can check that out in the syllabus, which I'll share with you once I'm done with this. And then live classes, right? So we have mentioned that we have 8x live classes here, which you can basically come and interact with the instructor and with your peers as well. And this is where you'll be able to see your currently upcoming classes, which you have subscribed for, and where do you subscribe it from? Available classes. As you can see currently in progress, there is a batch which is going on for the certified ethical hackers, V12 certification course. And also we have weekday and weekend sessions as well, keeping in mind, like folks might have commitments of study or also they might be working professionals as well. And you can easily go and subscribe for a course, basically live class here, and it will reflect here in your My Classes section. Again, you can check out, there are multiple, classes available. And the classes which I've already attended can be basically subscribed here. I'm getting a lot of questions about the fee or program fee. I'll be sharing that just in some time. And this is how you can basically unlock the certificate. So you need to attend at least 80% or more than one of the live sessions to complete the certificate. And yeah, this is just the learning environment. And there is a 24/7 tool also available from Simplilearn, which basically helps you with any query you might have. And you can just go to the self-test section, which is available 24/7. And you can basically raise your questions here in the program. And you can track your learning paths and course here. And again, we have a skill up section as well, which you would like to explore for exploring other categories of programs. Also, this is the program page. Let me also quickly share with you. And this is, I'll just show you quickly where you can download the syllabus as well. And so this is the program page. We have already covered all these details. And if you want to go and check out more outcomes of the program, what is going on in the industry, the salary benefits. So this is the basically online bootcamp. And this is the fee. Currently, we have a 35% discount if you're going to subscribe for it now. And you can see all the schedule of batches available, which I've already shown you. There's a weekend and a weekday class as well. And the fee here for the program is $3,000. for the US region, but after the discount, it is $1,950. And if you want to check out the fee for Indian region, I'm just quickly going to show it to you for folks who have joined us from India as well. Let me just quickly scroll up. Yeah, so the fee here is the fee here without discount is 79,363 INR rupees, including taxes. And after a 37% discount, which is running right now, you will be able to get it for 49,999 INR rupees. So for your own region, you can go and check out on the link which I've shared in the chat, and it will show you the available classes and the fee for and the discount range which is going on as well. And you can also share your interest towards enrollment using the same link. And folks who are watching us live on YouTube, you can also do the same. So yeah, moving on. Also, just quickly wanted to show you the real-time demand in the ethical hacking and security, cybersecurity jobs. So this is a platform called Dice, and it mostly has jobs in the US. So I'm just showing it for one region right now to show you real-time numbers. So I had basically went and searched for security jobs, and this is what the number which you can see showing here. There is 22,000 plus jobs here, and you can see it is ranging from different companies which are hiring for a network security engineer, for a data center security operations manager for Microsoft. And yeah, there are different career paths which you can take up in cybersecurity and ethical hacking as well. So you can go and check it out. This is just to give an example of what's going on in the market as well. How many jobs are there, up to date? So yeah, that is just to sum up about the program. And also we have global leaders as a certified ethical hacking certification course advisors. Vipul Kulkarni here, who's a security expert, and he's also a for content review board member at EC Council. He has over 17 plus years of experience in architecting physical and cloud infrastructure deployments in security. And as an EC Council board member, he is responsible for verifying CEH and ECS courses. And he's also a security, cloud security expert across public and private domains. Here, Dean Pompilio here is a technical trainer and also an owner at Stepping Stone Solutions Inc. He has has been an IT professional since 1989, and he has worn many hats along the way and holds over 20 IT certifications, which include EC Council, CEH, CSHI, just to name a few of them. And his passion is to help IT professionals achieve their training goals and career goals. So these are global leaders, who make sure that Simplilearn is delivering as per standards of EC Council. And we also have learner outcomes to share with you. So among thousands of them, I will just quickly show you what are the alumni also saying, right, once they have taken up this program. So let's see, like Shekhar Pawar here says that Simplilearn is one of the best online learning portals, and he has enrolled into this CEH and certified hacker training certification, and the course was simple and easy to understand. Overall, it was very good, and he would recommend it strongly to for professional enhancement. Ishan Sharma here shares that Simplilearn is one of the best platforms for you if you wish to enter the CEH environment and practice on different tools. And thanks a lot. He basically thanks his trainer, Mr. Bharat, and the Simplilearn team. We have few more to show you quickly. Habibullah Khan here shares that the training module is very well structured and delivered, and the trainer has been practically working in real time and helped me to get more information on real-time security information overall. And Rajashri Baruai shares that my experience with Simplilearn has been very pleasant. The support is prompt and excellent, and the trainer helped him exceptionally and personally appreciates his efforts, and he thanks Simplilearn for that. So these are just a few of the alumni reviews for the program from thousands of them we have. You can check out in the program landing page, which I've shared with you. Now, I would quickly love to understand, are you interested in enrolling into the CA Certified Ethical Hacking V12 course by EC Council and Simplilearn? And I'm just launching this quick poll here, and you can let us know by responding yes to the poll which is launched here. And I'll quickly take you through the enrollment steps of the program, and we'll be moving to the Q&A part of the session to address any questions you might have about the program and also about the topic we have covered as well. So this is a really good time to do that. Also, folks who are watching us live on our YouTube channel, you can also share your interest towards enrollment into the certified ethical hacking course, CEH V12, by clicking on the top link which you see on the YouTube live chat. It has the same course link which I've shared here on Zoom as well. it will take you to the program page, and you can also share your enrollment interest based on that link. Also, if you're watching this later on YouTube, you can click on the description, and on the top you will see the same program link where you can share the interest towards enrollment. Similarly, follow the same steps. I'll share those enrollment steps after the call. Awesome. We have gotten plenty of questions here, and we are very eager to address your questions here. Just allow us a few more minutes, and we will move on towards the Q&A part of the session. So, also, I see a few questions related to the program fee and the funds here, right? So we do have EMI options available. We have installment options available, which you can opt for, and they are different region wise. So in case you're not able to pay the fee completely at one go, the learning consultants from Simplilearn will be reaching out to you based on the interest you're sharing here for towards enrollment, and they will help you with the financial options we can provide you for taking up the program. So please don't worry about that. Once you have shared your interest towards enrollment here, the learning consultant will help you guide through the program as well, in case you have any questions about that. Awesome. Last 10 seconds for the poll. Yeah, most of you have responded for the poll, and a lot of interest towards enrollment, I must say. But let's give it 10 seconds more for the folks who are still thinking about it. And please make sure to leave your questions in the Q&A box for the topics Sagi has covered, and also about the program if you have any questions about that as well. We would love to address them. So the poll is still moving, so I'll just give 10 more seconds extra for this. And yeah, let's give it 10 more seconds for the folks here. Just once again sharing the program page link. And meanwhile, you're responding to the poll here. Maybe let me just also quickly show you where you can download the syllabus from. Let me just quickly go to the program page. So this is the program page, and you can basically go towards the learning path here, which I've covered, and you can download the syllabus from here. You can just click and submit your few details, and you will be able to see the syllabus as well, and the learning path in much more detail here. So you can see all the things we have covered and much more details in the syllabus of the program. So you can see all the modules, all the details here, and you can raise any questions you might have about the program as well. So yeah, moving back to the poll. So last 5 seconds for the poll here. So are you interested in enrolling into the CEH V12 Certified Ethical Hacking course by EC Council powered by Simplilearn? And you can respond as yes on the poll, which is live right now. And that is how you can share your interest towards enrollment. Awesome. Last 5 seconds. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let me quickly end the poll. And thank you so much, folks, for sharing your interest towards enrollment. And we would love to now quickly, go towards the Q&A. Sergey, we have been eagerly waiting for that. I can see we have so many questions here. So maybe if you would love to start by addressing questions about the topic, that will be great.
Okay, so let me check first questions in Q&A, and then I'm going to answer questions in the chat. So the first question that was repeated many times by different students is, I will just read this question, but there are a number of similar questions. So let's assume I answer all of them. Is coding required for ethical hacking? Which language works well for hacking? I would say to start, you don't really need to code, because there are a number of things you need to learn. You need to learn about existing tools. And look, in this session, I didn't show you anything that I built myself. But it is, so first you need to learn what is available on the market. Let's say market. What is available already. We have like a Kali Linux, which has endless number of tools and so forth. But when you go to work on cybersecurity, you will reach the point that, okay, the tools that I know, they have limitations, or they cannot fully complete the things that I need. And that's where you will realize that you need to code. So sooner or later you will face it, but it doesn't mean that you have to learn how to code first before you start working or learn ethical hacking. So I would say coding, that you can do it, but eventually you will need to dive into it. Which language? Traditionally, we recommend Python because it's like a bit more simple language to start from. And many tools, by the way, they are written on Python, and many exploits that you will find also they are based in Python. So you will need because you will need to read the exploit to understand what this exploit does. And so because they are Python, then you need to know how to read Python. So I would say it doesn't mean that it's not necessarily to just start coding right away. But eventually you will reach to this point, and the Python may be one of your first choices. Yeah, maybe some developers say, "Oh, Python, that's not the not the best language." Could be, but again, we're not talking here about professional development. We're talking about cybersecurity, and again, like many exploits, they're written on Python. All right, next question. What is the difference between InfoSec and cybersecurity? Which is the best? So it's like, dictionary attacks and brute force. We quite often use those terms interchangeably, but traditionally InfoSec, the domain of InfoSec is like information protection, access, and permissions, and so forth. Cybersecurity is more based on the like malware, firewalls, prevention, and so forth. But quite often we like use those terms interchangeably. Is SecList working in Wi-Fi hacking or not? Yeah, we have we have the dictionaries that are like contains the passwords for Wi-Fi. Of course, it also depends on the Wi-Fi. In the Wi-Fi, we can have like such a strong password that will not be crackable by a dictionary. All right, next question. Can we hack Google, Instagram, etc.? I don't recommend it, but if you do, you will either make a lot of money or a lot of problems. So make it decide yourself if you want to try. So there are some questions. My degree. So for it. The question: does the Apple keychain have the same compromise vulnerability if attacker owns this system? I think you're asking about the cracking. As far as I know, no. As far as I know, but I'm not the best Apple expert in the world, to be fair. So how properly handle account security, especially passwords on emails that are corrupt, have indications of theft of personal data, then how to build a block for secure encrypted passwords like BitLocker on non-Windows accounts. So that's the long question and the long answer. First of all, you have quick mitigations. So if you found that user has been compromised, you should contain it. So you may disable the user, and then for the moment that when you like remove that attacker from your system, of course change the password and make sure that all the systems are clean, and there are no Trojans and any traces of the attacker. So like you need to make a quick mitigations and restore the original state of the user. But a quick thing is disable the user, change password. That's the very, very, very quick first things you need to do. Then how to build a block for secure encrypted passwords like BitLocker on non-Windows accounts. It depends. Of course, ideally is to have centralized system for authentication. So that will, in that case, you don't need to think, oh, how to protect accounts on every single system if you have centralized authentication. So that's the best answer I can give you in those short session. So what is the best password composition? I don't even know what to say here because you asking about the password policy or what? You mean the like how many symbols you need to have, how many capital letters and lowercase and so forth? I would say you should start from 12. But again, it really depends and the recommendations are different. Maybe 8 is the absolute minimum, but normally like more or less secure passwords start from 12 symbols. Fees. I'm not going to answer questions about fees. Are there online communities that have been put in place to guide beginners in the industry? Yeah, forums, or number of forums. You can find Discord channels, or you can even, you know those systems like, I don't know if I should recommend any services like Hack in the Box, TryHackMe. If you could try to execute the exercises, you stuck there, you may ask in the forum, hey, how can I do that? And they may give you some advices. So yeah, there are a lot of them. Please, can you show examples how to improve or strengthen the passwords? I'm thinking. Okay, so first of all, password policies, more complicated password policies. Next thing what you may consider, you may ban guessable passwords. So there are a number of services where you can just upload the dictionary, and the passwords that you uploaded, users will not be able to use. So guessable passwords that are known by everyone are not be usable for users. So that's kind of ideas I can give to you right away. Oh, that's the long message. Sorry, I can't read that long message about your degrees and stuff for it. What is your X account? I don't use that, not at all. Do free online courses give me a job? Not sure if I can answer this question. Okay, next one. Isn't true that once attacker compromises any computer operating system, the attacker can access all user passwords and data files, etc. What mean the compromise Apple? Okay, so got it. Yes and no. It depends. Maybe you heard about the principle called zero trust. And one of the ideas of zero trust that we should assume breach. So we must assume that it will happen. It will happen sooner or later. So we must prepare our company for that. So we must have like additional monitoring, logging, backing up. We must have isolation and different tiers of the system. If we are prepared for that, then attacker will not be able to move laterally and access to all our data that we have. So, but yeah, if your system more like traditional, when you trust everything that's inside and don't trust outside, if one device was compromised and then connect to corporate network, then from this device, of course, attackers may try to connect to other systems. But if you assume breach, if you follow assume breach principle, then you will be able to harden your network, and your attackers will not be able to do that easily. Okay, so we run out of questions. Can we hack anyone game account? I'll probably skip this question. All right, now let me check the chat. And first question in the chat: can we bypass firewalls with Hydra? As far as I know, no, I don't know this feature. But what we can do, we can use Nmap. It's not really, firewall bypass is not really the easy task. What we can mostly do, we can find out some rules that permissive rules. So maybe access maybe rule doesn't filter when they trying to connect from this system, from this network, and so you can play with that thing with those conditions. And so that's what Nmap can do. And what you can do, you can combine Nmap with scripts, and scripts can also make some kind of brute force addiction attacks. But Hydra itself, as far as I know, the features of Hydra cannot do anything like that. So you need to first find the way to bypass firewall, and then use your Hydra with those bypass conditions. All right, so next one. Can you explain? So shall we use any physical device as one of the multi-factor authentication? What do you mean any device? So a physical device could be like some kind of FIDO keys, It could be also mobile device. It really depends. It really depends of maybe authenticator application that you have on your mobile device, because I'm not really sure what you mean by any physical device. Okay, so next one, tips to crack CEH exam study. Can you explain again password policies? Okay, really quickly. I also promise you to show a demo of my I also promise to show you a demo of passwordless. So what password policies are? If you look at them, like group policies, something like that, then you will be able to find in security, local account policies, password policy. So here's a number of policies that are built in already. So what you can do, you can leave them as is, or you can modify them, and you can say, okay, so I would like to disable password expiration because that's quite nowadays not the best idea. At the same time, I would like to make a password length much longer. That's like 12 symbols. I would like to require complexity. It's already enabled. So that's what password policy is. And again, you may find a number of recommendations. Microsoft gave their own recommendations. Normally what they do, they say that like for on-prem system, you have one recommendation. For online system, for modern system, you have different recommendation. So instead of just showing you that like long demo, let me just find learn Microsoft password recommend best practices. And here you may find an article called password policy recommendations, and then you will be able to find like what do they recommend. Also, you should be able to find somewhere here it was the link to the like legacy policy, like classic policies that we use on premises. So find this article. It's super easy to find, like I showed you here, and just go through it. All right. So next question. Shall we add number of attempts for password after system lock, or sometime you must wait, because if it's locked, you will not find the right password even if it's locked. So replying to tips to crack. How properly handle account security, especially passwords on email? I think we had that already. So many questions about the course. So let me find out technical questions. So if a person hacks if our WhatsApp, Facebook, LinkedIn account, what will we do? First of all, think how it happened. Second, restore access. So ask support of those systems to restore your access, and then enable. And then first recommendation that I gave you on the slide. And what was the first recommendation? Where is that? Multi-factor authentication. MFA. All right, so next question. Let me find. So the question, in some cases, you will get password suggestion if you use those suggestions also stored in the dictionary. You mean the like information to restore the password, like the questions about like the city you were born. If I can ignore it, I do. If I cannot, what I do, I provide some gibberish. So something that doesn't mean anything and not guessable. I don't know, cats and dogs, something like complete gibberish. I mean, that doesn't mean anything for attacker, but it could mean something for me. And so probably I won't forget, but if I need this information, probably I know that I provide this crap. All right, so hi there. What is the role of virtual machines, lab, and ethical hacking in your view? Thanks for congrats from Lisbon, Portugal. Okay. What is the role of virtual machine labs and ethical hacking in your view? Okay. I mean, your lab or what? So first of all, you're going to when you study, you will practice a lot with some kind of in some kind of practice ranges. As I mentioned before, AC Council had their own practice range, Hack the Box, and so forth. So if you're asking about that, then there is a very high role of that, and you will really practice. You need to practice a lot. Do you need your own virtual machines? Yeah, quite often I try to first simulate it before I really touch the live system. And so I deploy that virtual machine. I try to play with that first in the safe environment, in the sandbox. And then only after that, carefully and gently touch the live system. Could you please assist me in the checking out a career path with a seamless integrated psychology? Oh, I'm not sure if I can do it because I'm not the best career consultant, to be fair. I'm more like on the technical side. The technique used to crack a normal password, are they our same one can use to crack other login credentials like face, log, fingerprints, pattern, and so on? Not really, because there's no really the password behind the fingerprint. But if the account has password and fingerprints, then the password is crackable. Will you share a presentation? I guess so. The recording presentation will be shared. What is the basic certificate for in the red teaming? Cybersecurity as the beginner. Red teaming is not the topic for beginners, to be fair. So maybe you should look for something for pen testing, ethical hacking first, and just start slowly because red teaming is quite tough. The red teaming that's when you really simulate the attacker behavior without any assumptions. That's more complicated. As far as I know, then there is like something like a red team operator where can you learn how to use different tools for red teaming. But again, the red teaming itself is not really the entry level topic. Okay, so I don't see any more questions. Let's see. Or just chat is moving that so quickly. Yeah, there are some thank yous and can we really hack Google and so on. As I mentioned before, up to you. All right, one last thing. I will try to use show passwordless again. This time, hopefully it will work. Otherwise, I'll get surprised. And then we will go on to close the session. Oh yeah, finally. So look, now it doesn't ask me for password. It just asking me to provide some numbers, and I do them from my mobile device, and I just type 93. Then my application asking me for a fingerprint. I provide my fingerprint, and here we go. Then I was able to log in without any passwords. So and we have different forms of passwordless, like my fingerprints, my face and devices. But that's an idea. If we don't have password, there's a lower chance that those passwords will become that credentials will be compromised. All right, I think. Oh, there's one more question. Would you agree that AI, when used by bad hackers, can speed up the compromise or hacking of computer systems, including Android, iOS, Mac, and so forth? Absolutely. So defenders and attackers use AI. And again, that's just so like 15 years ago, we started to use cloud and attackers start to use cloud. and companies start to use cloud. Attackers use it to to deploy infrastructures to run more efficient attacks. Companies use now cloud for protection. Now, next step, next milestone is AI that we use for perform better attacks, to generate the code, to find the tools. And then defenders also use AI for investigation, for better protection, for policy suggestions, and so forth. So yes. Can you please repeat Microsoft password league recommendation or title? I think it's still here. Yeah. Password policy recommendations for Microsoft 365. I'm not sure if I shared the screen. Let me send to everyone. Please find out the last message by me. Password policy recommendations for Microsoft 365 passwords. I think there was a link also to more legacy system. Just click around and you should be able to find more traditional recommendations from them. All right, thank you. So I think we're a bit over our time. Rasha, any more commentaries, any more questions? So just close the session. I think you are on mute. You're muted. Yeah.
Let me just share back my screen. I think, Sergey, you have managed to address all of the questions here. And I also was replying on the Q&A box for any questions related to the program, fee, and other things. So I have cleared that as well. So thank you so much, everyone. We already started seeing the appreciation coming in while you were addressing the questions. And also really appreciate the time, you have given for, taking the extra time just to address them, help them out into any queries they might have. So would you like to say something to them before we end the session?
So my typical recommendation for every single session, not for it, but for many sessions, nothing can beat hands-on. So try not just to read and listen, but do. Try to do. Try to do something. Try to use tools. Try to try to get some hands-on. Because the more you do, it will speed up your learning process. It will speed up your learning process. I bet.
Thank you so much, Sergey Vatsangi. Thank you. It was a pleasure hosting you, and the audience. I think they really enjoyed the session. I can see the appreciation which is coming on the chat here. We'll move on towards. I know a lot of folks have been waiting for the webinar certificate. So we will have quick two polls here now. And this is for the rating one, and one will be for the webinar certificate. We'll need your full name for that. So I'm just launching a quick poll, and we would love to know how was the session for you. You can rate us, out of 5 here, and I'm launching a quick poll, and you can just quickly rate us. How satisfied are you with the content of the session? And you can quickly go and rate us, and share with us webinar feedback as well after the session as well. That is on the post webinar survey. In case you have any suggestions on the topic, I actually picked up a few topic suggestions in the chat. Like we had really good ones, so definitely kept a note of it. I think one was from Vidya. How you can tips to crack the CEH exam. So that is a very good one, Vidya. So I'll just give 5 more seconds for the poll here, so you can let us know and give us a rating here. How was the session for you out of 5? 5 being the highest here. If you're really like the session, you were extremely satisfied. 5 more seconds for the poll here, and then we move on to the webinar poll quickly. Loving the appreciation coming on the chat here for Sergey. So, yeah. Awesome. Last 5 seconds for the reading poll here. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let me quickly end the poll. And thank you so much. Thank you for sharing your response here. Now for the webinar certificate. So this is how the webinar certificate will look like, which will be given to you from Simplilearn. And then this is how the certificate of participation, your name will be here. For the topic of today will be here. And you can basically fill your full name now. So I'm just launching a quick poll for folks who have been waiting for the certificate. So I've just launched a quick poll now, where all you need to do is you need to just add your full name there. So go and submit your full name, and please make sure it is correct. And yeah, I'll just give 10 seconds for this poll for quickly going and filling in your full name. So this is compulsory in order to receive a proof of attendance for this webinar. So we will need your full name, that data to personalize the webinar certificate and send it to you. Also, while you're doing that, you can also go, folks are actually sharing the insights of these webinars already, and you actually can go and share screenshots, or the webinar certificate with your network and let them know what have been you up to. You can go and tag our Simplilearn handle and the EC Council handle as well. I'll share the handles on the chat. And also, so the certificate's already been shared. And how we can track you and give you a shout out, you can use the hashtag SimplyGrow. So you can do that quickly. I see a lot of folks have fulfilled their full name already. Last 5 seconds I'll give for the poll here for the full name for the webinar certificates. So please do that. Yes, you will get the recording of this webinar, and we will be sending that to you over mail post webinar. You should be able to receive certificate and also the recording on separate emails within 24 to 48 hours of the webinar. In case you face any issue, I'm just leaving my email ID here, webinars@simplylearn.net. Make a note of it, and you can reach out to us in case you face an issue. We'll help you out. Don't worry about that. And also, after the webinar, any questions related to the program, the Certified Ethical Hacking Certification course we have covered, or any other courses on Simplilearn, we can also reach out to us and ask us at simplylearn.net. I'm sharing those email IDs here just to help you out quickly. So, folks, I'm going to end the poll now. So, folks who are still filling their full name, last 10 seconds for it. So, please go and fill the full name which you see launched on the Zoom poll right now for the webinar certificate. So, please do that last 5 seconds. And also, thank you so much for having the patience, and thank you so much for showing the appreciation for our speaker, Sergey. And I see a few comments from me as well. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed the session. We'll be coming up with more such interesting topics for the webinar. And yeah, we are looking forward to, basically connecting with you there as well. So, yeah, thank you so much. So ending the poll now, last, 5 seconds. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So I've ended the poll, and folks who have submitted their responses, which is a lot of you for the webinar certificate, you will be receiving the webinar certificate within 24 to 48 hours. Thank you so much, folks. Thank you. We will be ending the session now. Let me also do one thing. As I mentioned that you can use the hashtag SimplyGrow and tag Simplilearn and eCourseware handles. I'm sharing the handles here on the chat with you. And the hashtag also you can basically follow. You can see what others are posting as well. It's very interesting. You can follow that hashtag as well. I'm sharing it on chat. You can basically use this hashtag and find similar minded folks as well through that. And I'm sharing the handles of Simplilearn and EC Council as well. So you can tag them and share your insights, share your experience. How did you like it? I'm sharing on the chat once again. So I've shared the EC Council one. And I'm also sharing the link, Simplilearn's handle as well. So feel free to do that. And yeah, hope you had a good time. Thank you so much. So yeah, ending the session now. Just quickly sharing the Simplilearn one as well. Do and check out whatever we're posting. And thank you so much, everyone. Thank you. Have a good night, good day, if wherever you're joining us from.